वायरस का क्या हाल है मुझे तो लग नहीं रहा है मेरे ख्याल में तो होना चाहिए निकाले
कौन सी वाली फाइल थी सर? कौन सी वाली फाइल?
स्कोर क्या है ना तो नहीं आना चाहिए And she teaches, Mummy ke bol, Mummy ke bol, kabhi kabhi, Papa ke bol. Once a while. Abba ke bol, kabhi kabhi, Baba ke bol, once a while. And after that, when the child starts a few words, what comes next? How to count. So how to count? Then mother will say 1. Child will never say 1. Now what should mother do then? Isko kuch dena chahiye. She will buy them chocolate. And then we say 1. Child tries to grab the chocolate. Doesn't say 1. But the mother doesn't give one chocolate either. Then she says 1. And then every time the child tries to grab it. 4 to 5 times later, and mother says 1, the child says 1. Both are happy. Mother is happy because she has taught him 1. The child is happy because the child has got 1 chocolate. Next day she comes and says 2. He says 1. Because he knows he says 1, he gets chocolate. So he is happy. But mother is not. She has to teach him 2. Then she again makes another attempt. 2. After third time, he says 2. Again, both are happy. Mother is happy because she has taught him 2. The child is happy because he got 2 chocolates. Then 3. He immediately says 3. Next day, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A box of 10. And then the child says 10. Both are happy. Then she looks at the purse. 1 chocolate 20 रुपए का आता है. गिनती 10 तक ही सिखाई. बच्चा कितने का खर्चा करा गया? कितने का खर्च हो गए? How much you have spent him? You tell. How much?
Around 500.
Around. You don't keep count. Around 500. Anyway, you
500.
500. 500. Around 500. 200. He is the most economic teacher. 1100. Look, he is the most costliest one. See, what happens is, when she said 500, then there is a series of 500, 500, 500. And when somebody said 200, then 200. There is only one notorious. He says 1100. So 1 chocolate cost 20 rupees. That was the first day you spent on it. Next day, you gave 2 chocolates. 40 rupees on that day. By this time, 3 chocolates are gone. 60 rupees. Next day, 3. 6 chocolates. Next day, 4. 10 chocolates. So in 200, he only was taught up to 4. So how much? 1,100 rupees. इतने की चॉकलेट चट कर गया बच्चा. गिनती सीखी कुल 10 तक. कितना महंगा है बच्चों को पढ़ाना. इसलिए उल्टी पढ़ा लेते हैं. So next day she comes and says 9. The child starts crying. He looks at one empty place. Because you are more worried about what you are not getting. You are never happy with what you are getting. So that way it goes on. And then when it comes, and one day you come with the bear palm and you say 0, child will never say 0. देते वेते कुछ नहीं, जीरो जीरो करते रहते. But how much you have spent by this time? How much you might have spent by this time to getting back to the same? You must have calculated now.
20 rupees.
20 rupees.
एक ही चॉकलेट.
एक क्यों दे रहे हैं? अभी तक तो 10 तक दिए और फिर वापस 0 पे आ गए. उल्टी क्या वैसी की रहेगा वो? 9 चॉकलेट, 8 चॉकलेट, 7 चॉकलेट, ऐसे कितना?
सेम ही हुआ.
Same amount means 1,100, 1,100, 2,200. हैं? 10 तो एक ही बार है. तो फिर only 2,000.
200 माइनस करने से.
बच्चों को पढ़ाना वाकई में मुश्किल काम है. करके देखो, अच्छा लगता है. So thing is that nobody actually ever thought the importance of zero, and that took a long time. In fact, the centuries. What for the zero is. We take pride in announcing that zero was born here in India, somewhat 550 years before Christ, BC. Anyway, so mathematics enters, the counting enters at that stage. And after that, you have to add. So, you add one by one. Then how to multiply? You add in bulk. Then you start subtracting, means keep away on throwing one by one. And division means you throw away in bulk. And if required, then few units also. These are the 4 basic operations that live forever with you, even when you are not there, even when you were not there. These 4 basic operations, of course, in different contexts, have different meaning, but ultimately they decide the whole subject. There are many things. Kabutar. So how the learning system is. And after that, when mother realizes कि तो महंगा होता जा रहा है, ऊपर से काबू में नहीं आता, then क्या करेगी? So she looks around the neighborhood and finds out a school, and then she takes him. चलो, मार्केट चलते हैं, वहाँ से बॉक्स लेके आएंगे चॉकलेट का. वो भी बड़ा खुश जाता है और स्कूल में घुसा देता है. And then after that, she hands over this child and runs as fast as she can. Doesn't look behind, so that he doesn't come. And then the child enters into a completely new environment with new people and adjusts within 5 minutes. He starts crying, and then 5 minutes later, he is most comfortable with that. A new bond starts developing there. The bond between the teacher and the taught is so strong. If you have not realized, you observe this, is stronger than the mother and child bond. When the child returns from the school and mother says something, and if this is not in the school, he will contradict you, say, no. My man said it so. And when ma'am has said, nothing on this world can change that. We bear this responsibility of nurturing the children in such a manner. What a great trust is put in your hands by the God. So this is the strongest relation ever bond that remains forever. Even when I'm not there, my students will always remember me. When my teacher is not there, I still do remember them. So this bond remains forever. So Guruji जो है ना कभी कोई भूल नहीं सकता their great teachings and the great sacrifice they made, and it promotes us that okay, we should also follow their path. So there are many things. Kabutar. So what is this? Kabutar plays this role. So this is the school. So how we learn. So when the classes of this, the first class comes, no, language class. तो उससे होता है, देखिए कैसे होता है. Lights off. तो कभी आप अगर स्कूल में जाके झांकें खिड़की से, बच्चा ना देखे, तो क्या हो रहा होता है वहाँ पर ये देखें. तो लाइट्स ऑफ करेंगे, और लाइट्स ऑफ. no matter what school is this, you will find this a common scene there.
का से कबूतर
यही होता है ना, कहाँ से कबूतर. You can switch on the lights. वहीं बैठ जाए तो अच्छा होगा. I am still to find out a book where the book doesn't begin with कहाँ से कबूतर. Take any. कहाँ से कबूतर. It's not कैसे कौवा कभी भी. No. What is this? After all. So when a book is prepared for the child, and to make him familiar with that letter, what is sought after is what is most easily available object the child can see. It should be moving because that is more attractive, and should be friendly also. So many things are considered. Not half letter, easy to recognize, many things. That is what is the main concern. That is why ka se kabootar. Now take the English. It's always every book starts with A for apple, A for apple. A cannot be anybody. A cannot be anything else. Why is it so? Again the same. Philosophy is that you have to teach the child A, not the apple. Apple is an instrument. First you show the picture, then you bring an apple. A for apple, A for apple. When you repeatedly put this, then after some time child says A for apple, A for apple. They do an apple. That's how it starts. तो अपने यहाँ पे कबूतर तभी से चलता है. क से कबूतर. बहुत कुछ है क्या से कबूतर में. So we actually ये इसको जो है एक ही दिखाई देना चाहिए. साइड बार में कहाँ पे है? नीचे होगा. Okay, so this is we saw the kabutars in love. We saw the kabutars in the class, and we see kabutar everywhere. But these kabutars were actually used in every context of life. When you are happy, when you have no one to talk, then you do gutarga, gutarga, gutarga. So when you say he is doing gutarga, that means there is someone he is friendly with. There are so many ways to express. Kabutar is the best one. And kabutar in war, when you are at war, then also they played a great role. So we talk a little about the pigeons in the war situation. और वो भी वार भी कोई ऐसा वैसा नहीं. World war. No. No, I will change with them also. So today we have British Post, German Post, India Post, this post, that post. Today we don't have any post. Now post offices are also vanishing. The whole post office, there is only one man now. But it was pretty common when people used to write. Today unfortunately we are forgetting how to write. And interestingly, how to read. Students, the most bright ones, they are forgetting how to write. They are forgetting how to read. They can't read what they have written. expressing reproduction is going is a very serious concern. That we must have a grip on the color to write, to read it, to explain, to understand, to make others understand what we are doing. So this post, when the letters were written, so it started with the pigeon post. Pigeon post means the pigeon will carry the letter. So this is the pigeon post. They were used to carry the letters. And homing pigeons. Homing pigeons, why homing pigeons? Pigeons, they stay with you in your home. And they have one wonderful, actually, habit. They always return to the home in the evening. Why pigeons only are used? Why not elephant is used? आज चिट्ठी लिखेंगे साल भर बाद पहुंचा ही देगा, लेकिन इस बीच में कितना खा जाएगा उतने की तो चिट्ठी नहीं होगी. How expensive. Why pigeon post? The quality that they return home, not just one. You can think about it. So they were effective messengers because of their natural homing ability. They transported to a destination in cages in the war situations, released, they delivered the message, they come back. They were also used effectively, in fact, very, very effectively in the military situations. And in this case, they were called war pigeons, as we call this warrior, that warrior. So that time they were called war pigeons. So a little about the war pigeons, that's what we want to talk briefly. So pigeon post was actually, see, whenever there is some company is there, company looks for profit. That means advertising. And then when one company is making good profit, another also will come to the market. So that's how things work. So the pigeon post was in operation during when the Paris was besieged, and that was 1870, 1871, around that time. At that time, the only successful method to carry the messages was carrier pigeons. And this was time-tested, time-honored, so trustworthy. You can see that they also came up with the medals for the pigeon post. You can see that there is a pigeon there. Letter delivered by the pigeon post. You know, it used to be written that by speed post. So it goes faster. Airmail, and so on and so forth. So at that time it was written or by hand, so by pigeon post. So this was the letter that was on Her Majesty's service from London. That was sent to Director General of Posts and Telegraphs, Tours. Tours is in France. And by pigeon post. So they were actually in use and very effective. Stamps were also there for the pigeon post. So you can see the stamp of early pigeon gram, as you have aerogram. That time it was pigeon gram. And then this was the service on the Great Barrier Island. And this was a very, very distinctive and attractive stamp created at that time by the company. And you think it was only at that time? So this is the cutting from the newspaper, Times of India. And I took a snap of that. And you can see here So it was in Kanpur, observed that on 15th February 23, that there was a pigeon, you can see this pigeon, and there was a message tied to the pigeon. So you think that the pigeons are no more used when you are making these mobile phones and all that? You only don't know. But they are still in use, as I have seen this from the newspaper. But that came in the newspaper, but many things do not come in the newspaper, so it must be still in use. Be friendly with kabutar. War pigeons. So homing pigeons have played an important role in the war due to their homing ability, speed. They fly at a great speed, very high altitude. They were then used as military messengers. Not only they played a great role in World War I, they also played a great role in World War II. God forbids if World War III takes place. No wonder, again there is a pigeon in that. Who knows?
तेरे पास रखो हाँ यार सही
Think about the speed. Average speed is 90 kilometers an hour. 90 kilometers an hour. How fast do you run?
एक तो अच्छा है
Do you run at all, first of all? But if you run, how fast do you run? Even a horse cannot match. Tiger can surpass, but only for a 100-meter race. This can go long way. Not just 100 meters, long way. And they are faster. और सबसे अच्छी बात यह ना खर्चा बहुत कम है पर किलोमीटर. नहीं, आपके 100 सीसी मोबाइल को भी 1 लीटर चाहिए. इसको कुछ दाने चाहिए बस. It's very economic also. इसके अलावा any other one, say for example if you use dog, can be distracted. Pigeons cannot. You can catch a dog somehow. You can catch a monkey also. You cannot go into the sky. How will you catch a pigeon? There is no way to distract also. So that was the most reliable service. Why only pigeons? तोता क्यों नहीं? तोता बहुत पालते हैं लोग. पर गुडों में अच्छा लगता है ना तोता. लेकिन फिर भी उसको कभी चिट्ठी बांध के नहीं भेजते. क्यों? The moment you release the parrot, it will never come back to you. करके देखो, अच्छा लगता है. तोता ला महीने भर रखो, साल भर रखो, लेकिन जिस दिन पिंजरा खोलेंगे. Good qualities about the pigeons. There is huge literature about pigeons. There is only a little of this chronology. So, 1870. So, during the Franco-Prussian War, 800 homing pigeons were used. And they were sent 40,000 messages. 1896, there was a French shipping company, Compagnie Transatlantique, and that made the first attempt at sending the pigeons across the ocean. Not just river even, ocean. They set 80 pigeons free in the batches of 3. Older pigeons survived the pelting rain in the ocean, while the younger ones fell to the sea. Still old is gold. 1912, pigeons were used as photographers. आजकल आप ड्रोन लगाते हैं शादियों से. They were the drones, natural drones at that time. A tiny camera was tied, and it can fly and can come up like that wherever you want it to take snaps. 1918. That was the great thing. That was the First World War, 1914 to 18. The first Battle of Marne. The French army advanced 72 pigeons lofts. The US Army Signal Corps used 600 pigeons and specially designed vehicles for these pigeons. You can see the rooftop for pigeons. So they will carry the pigeons in the carriages and then open this and release with messages the pigeons, and they will deliver the message. This was converted by the British Army as a mobile pigeon loft. Now, so this was the First World War, and in the First World War, so that is the time in 1918. So what happened is that there was a full battalion of US soldiers, 194 soldiers in that battalion, and it lost contact with the headquarters. They were trapped and believed to have been lost forever. That is why they were given the name Lost Battalion. And it so happened they were only having few pigeons with them. So as the last hope, they started releasing the pigeon, one after the other. And the Germans got suspicious that why from one corner some pigeons are coming after pigeons. They only had 12 pigeons. When they got suspicious, they started shooting the pigeons. The last hope, the last pigeon was there. They tied the message and left themselves to God. Let's see what happens. In any way, we are lost. We are gone. Now, this pigeon took the flight, shot, fell down, was hurt very severely, and miracle happened. It again took the flight and reached the destination, delivered somewhat 12 messages, and then died. Contact was established. Now, the headquarters knew where this was, and they lifted them up, and just one pigeon saved the life of one full battalion of the American soldiers, 194 in number. So you think of one single pigeon's heroic deed that he did by sacrificing his life. This pigeon, of course, was given a name also, Cher Ami. In French, Cher means dear, Ami means friend. Dear friend was the name given, and he was awarded the highest medal for this gallantry can be awarded to any animal by the army. Croix de guerre. So this was croix de guerre with palm. So croix means crown, de means of, guerre means war. Crown of the war. And palm is gold. In French, you put the adjective behind. So it is golden crown that was presented to this pigeon and was known as Cher Ami. In that process, you can see there is one leg lost. This is the crown and this is the pigeon. They are now in the museum, both. So this picture is from the museum. So imagine the great sacrifice made by the pigeons for us. Today, when you see a pigeon, then somebody feeds them, looking for something good for future. Somebody says, ja, 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 koi chitti leke ja, kabutar aata hai, sandesha laata hai.
Sir, how the destination of delivery is decided? Well, on which basis they give them the task?
They were trained. They were trained and with something specific that here only you have to go back. See, they were not trained to where they will be. They were carried there. They were trained where to return.
Return is okay.
But return only was the purpose. They were carried, you didn't perhaps notice, they were carried in cages.
The destination where they have to drop the message, how they used to decide that
No,
destination?
no, see, sir, I'm telling you again. They were carried, messages were attached, They were trained where will they return.
Okay.
So they delivered the message. That's how it was. Not that you will go to Shyam Sundar and you will go to Karan Singh and you will go to Charan Singh. No, not that way. They will carry these pigeons, and the pigeons were trained. Where is their home? They were returning. So that is why they were called homing pigeons. And that is because of their natural ability that they always return in the evening. So they were trained for that. This is the place that the pigeons will be hosted. So they will return back there. So this was World War I. Not only in World War I they were used in World War II also. So World War II, this is what it is. So about 250,000. So they were encouraged with the success of the pigeons, war pigeons in World War I. So in World War II, 250,000, 2.5 lakh kabutar. And Dickens Medal, the highest possible decoration that could be given to an animal, was awarded to 32 pigeons, including the United States Army Pigeon Services, GI. So you can see this is Dickens Medal, and this is GI Joe. Joe is the name of this pigeon who was awarded. He was one among the 32 such pigeons. William of Orange was another medal. So this message saved more than 2,000 soldiers' life. How many? 2,000. वो भी soldier को बचाना. Who saves the life of others? But when trapped, only pigeon can save. That too not one or two, 2,000. Think of the conditions in which these pigeons might have actually worked. So that was the Battle of Arnhem in September 1944. That was Second World War. Memory in pigeons. There are many fantastic actually abilities, and they have been studied very, very extensively. Only we don't care because we have too many kabutars. I have listed some of them. So research has suggested they have excellent visual ability. They can categorize differently. For example, pigeons could memorize 800 to 1200 different images. Even if you talk about the Chinese language, which is one of the most difficult language, because there you have so many characters in thousands. And remembering that is not that easy. You don't remember even of Hindi. कितने हिंदी में? कितने vowels, कितने consonant? एक बार फिर से पढ़कर देखा अच्छा लगता है. They can 800 to 1200 different images, and very fast learners they are, 3 to 5 years. Not just individual images, they have clear evidence of category learning. These studies have been done. Memory, long-term memory, working memory, and so on and so forth. Huge literature is there. I have collected only a little of that, not the everything. But if you read, you will really enjoy. कबूतर भी ऐसे वैसे नहीं होते हैं, उनके भी सिद्धांत होते हैं अपने, उनका भी कुछ कायदा होता है. And this is known pigeonhole principle. Pigeonhole principle is such a simple principle. You have now high-rise buildings. Postman comes, he doesn't go up and down. 10th floor चढ़ना पड़े तो उसका तो हो गया काम एक ही दिन में. लिफ्ट तो खराब होनी ही है. पहली बात तो 4 मंजिल तक लिफ्ट ही नहीं होती. Then what do? They make pigeonholes. You call them pigeonholes? The boxes. And you write your name. Postman comes and drops the letter. Tuck, 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 tuck. जिसकी होती है उसके में डाल. So suppose in the building there are 9 people, and one day 10 letters are received. So it's sure at least one person will get at least 2 letters. Such a simple thing. इसमें क्या है? ये भी हो सकता है कि एक कोई सारी 10 चिट्ठियां आई हों, बाकी 9 खाली हों, लेकिन कम से कम एक जरूर ऐसा होगा जिसको 2 से या 2 से ज्यादा चिट्ठी मिलेंगी. This is what is your pigeonhole principle. Now, such a simple principle has been used so effectively. This is, it's, you know, what you call namak. Chemistry people don't call it namak. They call it sodium chloride, NaCl. But common people know, ये तो नमक है. बिना बात ये NaCl कहते हैं. That is how this is. Pigeonhole principle is for common man. Its mathematical name is something else. We are not going into that. I mean, नमक से मतलब है. NaCl से नहीं ना. तो वही है. Pigeonhole principle. Such a simple principle. Many fantastic results in mathematics have been proved using this simple principle. Some of them I just say. So suppose we have a class and everyone is given a name. Everyone is given a name. So now the question is that just to think about the first letter of the name. So what is that minimum number of students in a class so that at least 2 students' name begin with the same letter? So let's talk about English language, names in that. So if it is the class having 20, then they can be given up to A to U, the names. 2 may be having the same. When will it happen? When at least 27 students are there. Then even if you allot the names starting with A to Z, then there has to be at least one more whose name also has to begin from A to Z. So there is one letter that will be having common name starting with that, 27. So on and so forth. This is a small example. Now you can see more. So this is like this. Same with the date of birth. If you have a function, say A to B, sets are finite, domain and range, and suppose the number of elements in A is more than the number of elements in B, the pigeonhole principle says that some element of B has at least 2 elements of A which are mapped onto it. Simple. Therefore, this function cannot be injected. There are many beautiful results in mathematics. For example, if you have a prime number of the form, say 4k plus 1, then this is the sum of 2 the squares of the primes. 5. 1 is square plus 2 is square. But 7 cannot be written that way. So many wonderful results are there whenever there are 2 sets involved. Finite, pigeonhole principle can be set and you can deduce something always. Such a powerful principle. There are many things about that. There are many simple examples here. You have this sequence and so on so. फिर से कबूतर की बात करते हैं. आप जनसंख्या, जनगणना ये सब करते हैं ना. कितने आदमी थे, कितने औरतें थी, कितने बच्चे थे, कितने टोटल थे. कोई कबूतर नहीं गिनता. इतने थे, अब इतने हैं, इतने थे तो कहाँ गए. आप नहीं करते तो क्या कोई तो करता है. So this was done. The pigeon population of the New York City, so that is 20 years ago. So New York City, more than 1 million kabutars. There is a lot of study has been done about them. About the pigeon population. Kitna height, length, and all those things, weight, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of study. और एक दूसरे से अटूट रिश्ता है कबूतरों का इंसान से. वो खाते भी कम है, कभी कभार जो है थोड़ा गंदा करते हैं, बट यू कैन think the enormous positive points. नहीं है तो दो चार पाल के देखो. There is a lot of study about the pigeons. This is about Italy. कुछ कबूतर देखो कितने सुंदर होते हैं. तो there are some here. Spanish pigeon, Arabian pigeon, German pigeon, Norwegian tumbler, American pigeon, Australian pigeon, Scottish pigeon, Russian pigeon, Canadian pigeon, English pouter, Dutch pigeon, Vienna. That means Austria. Irish pigeon, Turkish pigeon, French pigeon. देखो कैसे फूल के खुश हो. आप क्या सोचते हैं हमारे यहाँ नहीं है? कितने हैं? कितनी तरह के? So just few of them. You can see. Pigeons of India. Andaman, green pigeon. Wood pigeon, Asha-headed green pigeon, Asha wood pigeon, Asian emerald dove, barred cuckoo pigeon, Eurasian collared dove, green imperial pigeon, grey fronted green pigeon, hill pigeon. लाफिंग डॉग, हंसता है तो कितना अच्छा लगता है. कबूतर, कभी उसके साथ कंपटीशन करें हंसने का, अच्छा लगेगा. निकोबार पिजन, नीलगिरी वुड पिजन, पेल कैप्ड पिजन, थिक बिल्ड ग्रीन पिजन, pigeon grams. You have word puzzles now in every magazine. Pigeon puzzles. Find out the names of different species of the pigeons. So this is a pigeon search puzzle. Another puzzle, pigeon puzzle. Pigeon versus AI. कौन सी AI? Air India? Artificial intelligence. We are living in that beta generation, in the artificial intelligence world. What kabutar has to do with that? So the study has found the way pigeon problem solve, way pigeons solve the problems, it matches with the artificial intelligence models. In the study, 24 pigeons were given various visual tasks. Some of them learned to categorize in a matter of days, others in a matter of weeks. It was found that the mechanism used by the pigeons to make correct choices is similar to the method that AI models use to make the right predictions. The research has shown that instead of approaches like selective attention and explicit rule use, pigeons use brute force. Brute force always succeeds, only a matter of time, that's all. And they do that. Similar to the method used in AI models. There is a lot about pigeons. I have only collected this material which is relevant to you. But I have gone through the literature, pigeons in physics, pigeons in chemistry, pigeons in architecture, pigeons in law, pigeons were not in social sciences. बहुत कुछ है कबूतर के बारे में. Trafalgar Square. Where is Trafalgar Square? It's in London. Why is it called Trafalgar? इसका नाम पड़ा कैसे? Because of war. So this is in the city of Westminster, central London, and that was established in 19th century. The square's name commemorates the Battle of Trafalgar, the British naval victory in the Napoleonic Wars over France and Spain, and that took place on 21st October 1805 off the coast of Cape Trafalgar. That is why it is called Trafalgar Square. And if you have been there, then you will find people feeding like anything because of their contribution to the war. Only lately it has been stopped. Too many pigeons. अपने यहाँ कहाँ कहाँ हैं कबूतर? कनॉट प्लेस, सेंट्रल पार्क में देखो जाके, जामा मस्जिद, कबूतर ही कबूतर है. चितरंजन पार्क, कबूतर ही कबूतर है. दूर क्यों जाना, अपने यहाँ ढूंढो ना. In IIT, just on the gate, there are many pigeons. People keep on throwing barley, this, that, and so on and so forth. They are integral part of our life. Start them loving. There are many things. There is a huge literature about pigeons. Read a bit of it. I am sure you will read another. And after some time, your library will be full of only literature about pigeons, and your home will be filled with pigeons. एक को ले आओ बस, दूसरा आ ही जाएगा. और फिर क्या? देखना. There is huge literature about the pigeons. ये उस टाइम की बात थी, ये इस टाइम की भी यही बात है, ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं है. कब? जब चिट्ठी बांधते थे कबूतर के पंजे से और कहते थे कबूतर जा कबूतर जा कबूतर जा. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? उसके बाद क्या? उसके बाद कबूतर कम पड़ गए. लाइट्स ऑफ. फिर एक नए युग का आरंभ हुआ. होता है ना, ए न्यू थिंग हैपेंड. उसके बाद क्या हुआ देखिए.
हेलो, हिंदुस्तान का तेरा फोन. हेलो, मैं रंगून से बोल रहा हूँ. मैं अपनी बीवी रेणुका देवी से बात करना चाहता हूँ. हाँ हाँ.
मेरे पिया, वो मेरे पिया गए रंगून, किया है वहाँ से टेलीफोन. तुम्हारी याद सताती है, तुम्हारी याद सताती है, दिया में आग लगाती है. मेरे पिया गए रंगून, किया है वहाँ से टेलीफोन. तुम्हारी याद सताती है, तुम्हारी याद सताती है, दिया में आग लगाती है.
हम छोड़ के हिंदुस्तान बहुत पछताए, बहुत पछताए. हम छोड़ के हिंदुस्तान बहुत पछताए, बहुत पछताए. हुई भूल जो तुमको साथ न लेकर आए, हुई भूल जो तुमको साथ न लेकर आए. हम बर्मा की गलियों में और तुम हो देहरादून। तुम्हारी याद सताती है, तुम्हारी याद सताती है, दिया में आग लगाती।
जिया में आग लगाती। This was the change. So computers were not anymore used. So this was the change. The telephone was taking over. And at that time, I do remember, we didn't have any telephone. Forget mobile. No telephone. The first telephone that was given to the head of the department. Next lot came then for professors, and so on and so forth. And at that time, the telephone's receiver was so heavy. Holding that was a great joy, as if you were doing weightlifting. And the sound, that pleasing sound will come, was so sharp that people will keep 1 foot away, because that is so sharp. And if you bring closer, it will stick to your ear, because of the waves. लेकिन नई चीज का आनंद ही कुछ और होता है. Still people were very happy to receive that, because that was new. Something new is always appreciated. So that's how the telephones came in. Then they become lighter and lighter and so on. अब वहाँ से फोन कर, वहाँ से रंगून से. कहा कुछ, सुना कुछ, बता जाने क्या तूने कहा, जाने क्या मैंने सुना, फिर भी बात कुछ ऐसी हो गई. That's what it is. You don't know what is said. I don't know what I heard. But you rightly corrected that sentence, if I do remember. You corrected that. You're very good. Extraordinary. You know? So that is the time this coding theory came. In coding theory, nothing is encrypted. Only thing, because of the noise in the channel, this is not correctly received. And linear codes are the most studied codes because of their simple structure. They are, after all, subspaces or some vector spaces over finite fields. But there are many nonlinear codes which have played a great role. Many things, you know. दूध लेने जाते हैं ना, समोसा लेते हैं, पैसे जेब में नहीं होते, कैसे क्या करते हैं? क्या क्या करते हैं? Don't feel shy. क्या करते हैं? फोन से पे करते हैं. कैसे करते हैं? क्लिक करते हैं. क्या क्लिक करते हैं? QR कोड. ये क्या है QR कोड? कुतुबुद्दीन रहमान. क्या है QR कोड? Quick response code. But that is its commercial name. Its mathematical name is quadratic residue code. इससे किसको क्या लेना देना? हमें तो नमक से मतलब है, NaCl से क्या लेना देना, है ना? It has changed the life. कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है जहाँ आप एक टिक टिक नहीं करते हो. उससे पहले एक और आया था, और अभी भी है वो यूज में, है ना? कुछ डंडे से खींचे होते हैं, बार कोड. But that again is its commercial name. Mathematical name is something else. एक अच्छी बात क्या है, आपके दादाजी के दादाजी अभी हैं नहीं, तो ये अच्छी बात है. अगर वो होते तो आपको पता चलता कि वो मार्केटिंग कैसे करते थे. इवन दादाजी हैं, वो भी नहीं. कुछ तो उनका असर आया होता कि वो कैसे करते हैं. सो ही विल गो एंड फाइंड आउट इसका क्या भाव है, उसका क्या भाव है, क्या रेट है, क्या. 4 जगह पूछेंगे. बच्चा दुखी हो रहा है, लेते हुए है नहीं, भाव ही पूछते रहते हैं. और उसके बाद फिर उसको वो कहते हैं अच्छा, तो 1 छटाक ये देना, 2 छटाक वो देना, और इसको तो 2.5 काफ़ी है, इसका हिसाब लगा लो. फिर वो कहते हैं इतने पैसे हो गए। लाला लगाता है, साथ में मुनीम भी बैठा होता है, उसका जो है था। अब ये पोता जो है ना, उसको अब दादाजी कहते हैं जरा हिसाब लगा के बता, ठीक लगा बताया क्या? अब वो सिर पीटता है, एक छटांग, आधी छटांग, ढाई छटांग, ये भाव वो भाव। लाइफ इज नाउ मच इजियर। पढ़ने की जरूरत किसी को नहीं, समझने की भी जरूरत किसी को नहीं, हिसाब लगाने की तो पक्का ही नहीं। बस टिक किया, कितने का है, स्कैनर पढ़ता है, कितना हो गया, कैलकुलेट करता है, कोई बिल आता है 3, 4, 5, यू आर हैप्पी, यू ऑल्सो टाइप 3, 4, 5, चले गए 345 रुपये। यू नेवर चेक whether this is the correct amount you should pay or not. You never check whether the rate and the quantity that you have got is actually correctly calculated or not. कितनी सिंपल लाइफ है, और पैसे भी जेब में नहीं है, तो इसलिए गिनते टाइम ये भी नहीं पता चलता कि अब तो खत्म हो गए। ये और भी अच्छी बात है ना। We have seen this. We are actually observing this. The natural ability to work is decreasing, and that is worrisome. Remember, man made the machine, not the other way around. Therefore, you have to keep on updating yourself. You have to keep on looking for new frontiers. You have to read a lot. You have to work very hard. And after all, whosoever has made the machine has full control on that. That means you are putting your life in his control or in her control. You must work for your own system. That is the thing, and that is why your conference is to learn how mathematics is behind this code or anything else. तो टेलीफोन जिंदगी में आया। अभी भी आप ऐसे ही करते हैं, वहाँ से रंगून से फ़ोन नहीं, अब क्या करते हैं, मोबाइल का। अब उसमें भी क्या है, फिर आप मैसेज करते हैं, उसमें भी फिर व्हाट्सएप व्हेन यू रीड देन इट इज़ रिटन एंड टू एंड एनक्रिप्शन। पर होता क्या है पता नहीं, उसमें भी लिखता है TLS, ये वो, ये क्यों लिखते हैं ये सब? आपको यकीन हो जाए कि ये फ़ोन खरीदना है। Ultimate goal is that, nothing else. I give you some simple example. देखिए, एक फैमिली है, छुट्टी पर उसको जाना है। अब ताला लगाते हैं बाहर वाले, ताला लगाया, चलते बने, बच्चे ने लगाया, ताला लगाया, खींच के देखा, कभी कभी ताला हाथ में आया, पापा ने लगाया, और फिर ताला कोई और लगाए और ऊपर से कोई देखे, चेक करो, ये करो, वो करो, पक्का मम्मा ने किया। अब क्या होता है, फैमिली गोज टू गोवा। द फर्स्ट थिंग द मदर विल आस्क द फादर, डिड यू लॉक? आई थिंक आई डिड। आज तक तो कोई काम जिंदगी में किया नहीं ठीक से। देन सो आई विल चेक इट। सो शी विल कॉल द नेबर, बहन जी जरा हमारा ताला देख के ना। And she will go and look at the lock and say, हाँ जी बहन जी ताला तो लगा है, शुक्र है कुछ तो किया ठीक से। And after 2 months the family returns home and then sees the lock and they say, oh, safe है, ताला लगा। Then open the lock and see inside, साफ है, सब कुछ साफ है। अरे how could it happen? Lock was there. I only locked it. Checked also. And now, lock was found intact, but nothing inside. So how it can? नहीं उसका बैंक नहीं होता। IC, आपने देखा वो advertisement? There is a keyhole, and there is somebody inside the hole, and somebody comes and sees through the hole. I don't see. ICICI Bank. This was a very famous advertisement. So they were saying that you can see, but when you are with ICICI, you can't see. confidential, secure, safe. It's pretty simple. Somebody got hold of the key, original or duplicate, opened, removed, locked it, be happy. Everyone is happy. So what is it? Does lock provide you security? Definitely not. Then why do you go and buy the lock? और उसमें भी क्या कहते हैं? अच्छा, आपने ताला खराब घटिया खरीदा होगा इसीलिए इसकी चाबी बन गई होगी कि अच्छा अब की जाओ बढ़िया सर महंगे से महंगा लेके आना. Then he goes and asks, बढ़िया से बढ़िया महंगे से महंगा ताला दे दो. ये लो जी, कितने का? 500 रुपए का. पक्का? यहाँ 500. इससे बढ़िया भी है क्या? हाँ है ना जी, 1000 रुपए वाला ले लो. इसमें क्या खास बात है? उसमें 5 लीवर थे, इसमें 7 लीवर. अच्छा, और बढ़िया है कि हाँ ये रहा 5000 का. इसमें क्या कि इसमें दोनों तरफ से लगता है ऊपर से. और बढ़िया है क्या? हाँ ये है जी 20,000 का. ये तो उठ भी नहीं रहा. कभी कभी इतना भारी ताला ले लेते हैं कि अगर चोर ताला ले जाए तो और कुछ लेने की जरूरत नहीं. Why after all you buy a costlier lock? Because you want something to be safe and secure. Even though you know it pretty well, lock is not for that. What the company is doing is selling हवा. हवा वैसी हवा बनाते हैं कि आप ताला लेके ही जाते हैं, महंगे से महंगा लेके जाते हैं. उसकी वजह यही है, you always wish to feel secure. Feeling of security is more important than actually the security. And they actually sell the feeling of security, not the security. Kirchhoff law says that nothing is safe, nothing is secure. Only time permits. It could be. If it takes too long a time, when it loses relevance, then you can think this is safe. But in principle, nothing is safe, nothing is secure. But still, lock तो जहन में ऐसे बैठ गया, ताला है, बिना ताले के तो हिलेंगे, ताला तो होना ही चाहिए. That is why when you do, for example, you write mail or you transact through online, you always find a symbol of lock. That is not lock. That is only a symbol. Precisely that. कहाँ रखते हो पैसा? बैंक में, लॉकर में. Locker is the most unsafe. Bank locker is even the most unsafe. You know the reason? You don't read when you take an account into the locker. You don't read so many things written there. And they are written so small you are not able to read also. It is very clearly written that bank is not responsible for, because bank also says we don't know what you have kept. It could be empty locker also. And now you are saying you have put up so much. You read carefully. Actually, अंधा और अंधे बनने में ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं होता. अंधे बनने वालों से अंधे ज़्यादा अच्छे होते हैं. वो बहुत केयरफुली हर चीज़ को टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं कि कुछ गड़बड़ तो नहीं है. लेकिन ये आंखों वाले जो इतने ज़्यादा अंधे होते हैं, वो पढ़ते नहीं, देखते नहीं, सुनते नहीं, कुछ नहीं, हाँ साइन कर. वो फिर बैंक दिखाता, अरे ये लिखा हुआ है इसमें तो, अच्छा ये तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था. अरे साइन तो आपके ही है. आपने नहीं पढ़े ऐसे न्यूज़, लॉकर्स वर ब्रोकन, नथिंग वाज गिवन, बिकॉज इट इज रिटन सो क्लियरली. अभी भी मौका है. So when you do this online transaction, when you write a mail, there is a symbol of lock. है लॉक का सिंबल? है? आपने देखा सिंबल? सिंबल भी नहीं देखा. क्या बात है. अगर आप ताला देख के ताला खोलने की नहीं सोचते तो इससे ज्यादा पैसिव कोई नहीं हो सकता। ताला देखते ताला खोलने की टेंडेंसी होनी चाहिए। That is what is the curiosity. पर्दे के पीछे क्या है? What is there behind the curtain? What could be hidden behind? It's a natural feeling, natural curiosity. If you have that, then definitely you will succeed. You start with a failure, you will definitely succeed. You can never start with a success because you are not tested failure. Your system cannot be secure even for a while if it is not failed. That is why the algorithms are tested. There are laboratories for that. There are certain parameters. 4 minutes? 5 minutes. So we were talking about when you say that, okay, this is my Gmail account, this is my online account, and for example, when you do this transaction, then you will see something. So when you do this, and if your bank happens to be State Bank of India, they have huge money, ना? अच्छा लगता है, उनके पास है, हमारे पास नहीं, बहुत बुरा भी लगता है। लेकिन मैं बताता हूँ कैसे हम वो सारा how to do that, so simple. So the bank says, your money is safe, your money is secure because we are using this. We are using our AICTE system. So when you click on the lock, you will see that. What will you see that? What is written in the black? That is in hex. The base is 16. But this I have converted in the blue into the normal base 10, the decimal. The system collapses if you find a non-trivial factor. तो जब बच्चा 3 साल का होता है, उसे जब हम गिनती सिखाते हैं, फिर जोड़ सिखाते हैं, फिर गुणा सिखाते हैं, फिर सब्ट्रैक्शन और उसके बाद डिवीजन, है ना? Multiply these two, divide this by this. So that is, I think, in class 3 or so, when you say, okay, factorize 12. So child says 1, very good. आगे 12, ये भी ठीक है. आगे, अरे कुछ तो एक दो आप भी बताओ तो. Then the father will say 2, yes, 2, 3, 4, 6. Any other? No, it doesn't look like so. Finding non-trivial factors is such an easy game. It starts at class 3. You know, this also is the same thing. Find a factor which is other than 1 and the number itself. Non-trivial factor, proper factor. System will collapse automatically. You find 1, I'll find another. By dividing. Then 50, 50. मंजूर? कितना अच्छा है. टाइम भी काफी है. प्रॉब्लम भी कितनी सिंपल है ना? What is a good problem? A good problem is one which is very easy to understand, doesn't require any subject knowledge. What is a bad problem? A bad problem is one which takes too much time to understand चाहता क्या है. And once you know, after 2 hours, तो करने को कुछ ना हो. In 10 seconds, darken one of the 4 bubbles. A, B, C, already. Unfortunately, we are busy in devising such problems. But there is a huge literature of good problems. I have many, many good problems to tell you. लेकिन उन्होंने कहा 5 ही मिनट. आप 5 ही बताए थे ना? हाँ, 5 ही बताए. So there are many such beautiful problems which do not require much of the subject knowledge, But they are for everybody. Everybody takes interest and looks for a simple solution. But when you start doing that, it is not. This is one such problem, that the system will collapse if you find a non-trivial factor. The Bell Laboratories, United States of America, which gave this crypto system in 1978, this paper was published. In 1977, they actually wanted to test before putting into the market what is the situation, because money is such a thing, stakes are very high, so one has to be very, very careful. So that was in 1977. So what happened in 1977? Chachi number one. Chachi number one. ऐसी वैसी चाची नहीं. So in 1977 it was put up and was called Little Challenge. And so this is one number only. I put up in the blocks of 4 so that I don't make mistakes, which I most often do. So this is only one number. It's not a big number. Decrypt this. That's what it is. The mass. They also said that this has been used, RSA crypto system, to obtain this. So they told the modulus. So modulus means so this number n. So this was the number that was told. This is a small number. You can count the number of digits also. 4 rows only. The first row is 1, 2, 3, 32. 32 digits. 4 rows, 128. Bottom wali thodi si badi hai, one more. So 129 digits. So it was basically asked to find out a non-trivial factor of this number. And they also told that the exponent also, but basically this. दुनिया में कोई फ्री में काम करता है? नहीं. So they also announced the price also. How much was the price? $100 to anyone who deciphers this message. Basically, you can find out a non-trivial factor. कितना बड़ा प्राइस था? $100. 1977, not today. वैल्यू थी तब. कभी लॉटरी की टिकट खरीदी? नहीं. खरीद के देखो, क्या पता रातों रात अमीर हो जाओ. लॉटरी का एक ही सिद्धांत होता है. देयर इज ओनली वन प्रिंसिपल. व्हाट इज दैट? टिकट का प्राइस कम हो. ओनली 1 रुपी. सब खरीदे. 10 में खरीदो, 10 दोस्तों को खरीदो. और प्राइस शुड बी वेरी हाई. 1 लाख करोड़. कितने लाख करोड़? 1 लाख करोड़. एक प्राइस निकल गया तो बस क्या बात. खिलाने वाला भी यही सोचता है, टिकट सारे बिक जाएं, प्राइस ना निकले. You think that for whom this game is? For the one who buys the ticket? Or for the one who sets this game? It's actually for that person. कि उसके टिकट सारे बिक जाएं, प्राइस ना निकल के. लेकिन देखिए क्या होता है. तो अब उसने अनाउंस तो कर दिया, टिकट भी बिक गए. अब उसको ये फिक्र होती है, अगर प्राइस निकल गया तो फिर क्या करेंगे? निकलना नहीं चाहिए. तो कहेगा एक ही प्राइस है, एक प्राइज भी काफ़ी है, तो फिर क्या है, जो सबसे पहले आएगा, अच्छा वो भी ठीक है, नहीं जो सुबह 3 बजे तक आ जाएगा ना उसी को मिलेगा। अब सुबह को 3 बजे तक कोई आया नहीं आया, तो अब वो देखिए क्या उसकी मनस्थिति होती है। बार बार उठता है, झांक के देखता है कोई आया तो नहीं, कोई आया तो नहीं, फिर जाके सोने की चेष्टा करता, फिर कहता है कोई आया तो नहीं, इज अनेबल टू स्लीप। आफ्टर सम टाइम वो कहता है अगर मैं होता तो ये प्राइज भी मुझे ही मिल जाता। कितनी देर में मैं इसका फैक्टर निकाल लेता, है ना? तो ये प्राइज भी मेरा होता, ये $100 भी मेरे ही होते। Then he starts estimating himself, and that's what the Bell laboratories did. So the Bell laboratories did this. They wanted to know how much time it might take, how much time it might take.
1 month.
महीना, 30 दिन। थोड़ा सा मोबाइल भी है ना,
Yes, sir.
लैपटॉप भी है,
Yes.
लैब भी है।
Yes, sir.
घंटे, how many hours? What? Say, I like
2 घंटे.
2 hours. Okay? Anjali will take 2 hours, you will take
So it might be
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour, 1 hour. What is your good name? Ranja. 1 hour, 1 hour, and you were faster.
So we have a formula for RS
No, no,
algorithm.
no,
So
formula.
one day you
One
can,
day वो तो यहाँ तो एक घंटे तक आ जाते हैं।
one day or two.
We are looking for fastest one.
1 hour.
1 hour तो हो चुका, आगे बढ़ो। You are faster than 1 hour.
No.
Yes, I know it. You said
Half an hour.
Oh yes, half an hour. What is your name? Shivani will take 30 minutes. You?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Nice, nice, nice. Then you?
Sir, half an hour.
No, no, 20 minutes. Less than
10.
10 minutes. You? 5 minutes. You? 2 minutes. And you? 1 minute. You? 50 seconds. So we are in seconds now. Okay, okay. You? No, I'm not learning theory here. I'm not learning theory here. No formula, nothing like that.
49 seconds.
49 seconds.
आधो
Can you tell the exact number? 10 seconds? No, not yet. You have the costlier one. What is the good name? Naman. Is there anyone faster than Naman? I wonder that definitely many people must be there. Can you just stand up? We want people to know that on JNU campus you are the fastest boy. Just so give a big clap to Naman. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You still want anyone to improve on his? बैठना मत. नहीं. So this was so. And then the Bell Laboratories did its own estimate. How much was their estimate? How much was their estimate? No, not 5 years. Read properly. That was time was given. Now read here at the bottom. Kitna? You said 10 seconds, no? seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, no, years. Open your ears. How many years? कितनी जीरो हैं? कितनी जीरो हैं? 16 zero. Million has 6 zeros. Billion has 9. Trillion has 12 zeros. It's cubes. And quadrillion has 15 zeros. यहाँ पे कितनी है? 16. 40 quadrillion years was their estimate. And that was with the assumption that everyone on this world globe will be working only on that. And all computers will be used only for that. And then, Naman, the estimate was 40 quadrillion years. Not much, no? Yeah, it is not much. Just 4 into 10 to the power 16, that's all. When you raise powers, they're very small, you are happy. 4 into 10 to the power 16, that's all, years. $100 safe, eh? That's what Bell Laboratories thought. Who will take such a challenge? Was the challenge accepted by anybody? Who will take this challenge? Who will take this challenge? No. दुनिया में सिरफिरों की कमी नहीं होती. कहीं भी दो कुछ बात कर रहे हो तो तीसरा जरूर कहता है हाँ बताओ क्या मैं सॉल्व कर दूंगा. But what is the problem? वो पता नहीं. So it's the same way. So the same way. So it was accepted. एक तो नहीं पूरी चौकड़ी निकली वहाँ पे तो. क्या है? Atkins, Graf, Leinster, Leland, they accepted this challenge. Question was, did they succeed? Yes. And when did they succeed? 1994. So this was the challenge, and estimated time was 40 quadrillion years. Actually, the goal was achieved in just 17 years, in 1994. 1994, world over, many things happened. We are not going into that. But दुनिया में कोई चैलेंज ऐसा नहीं होता जो लिया ना जा सकता हो, और ऐसा भी नहीं होता जो अचीव ना किया जा सकता हो. Only thing you need a will to do that. Rest will follow. Rest assured. So that's what it is, and how that we shall do it later, some other time. That is more mathematical and takes a lot of time. We have great hope. We lights off. We have great hope. We have so many bright young minds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on and so forth. And sir, so we have many, many things to see. I'm happy with that.
Oh, yeah, come on. Uh-huh. This is our super baby rap, y'all. Master B.I.G. Lewis, jump stopper, baby love. Jumping. Yeah, super baby's on board. Take it away now. We're breastfed and we know it. Breastfed and we know it, yo. I'm super strong and I show it. I'm super strong and I show it. I show it. I know I grow real fast, yo, I grow real fine. I spread my arms wide cause the world's all mine. We're breastfed and we know it. We're breastfed and we know it, yo. I'm super strong and I show it. I'm super strong and I show it now. Intelligence like mine ain't easy to find. 2 2s be 4, 3 3s be 9. Breastfed and we know it, breastfed and we know it, yo. Well, I'm super, super smart and I show it, yo. We're breastfed and we
I will show you. Definitely, I have great hope that you will show me one day. Thank you.
वैसे पता चला आपके पास टारगेट तो आपको पता है, उसी टारगेट पे आपने कुछ और अटैक डालने शुरू कर दिए, डीडॉस फॉर एग्जांपल, या डॉस अटैक दे दिया। तो डॉस अटैक से क्या हो गया, यू आर नॉट crippled, you are not even able to run your other services. So it was already a big headache for you, now you have an additional headache. It's called multiple extortion. And pure extortion में क्या है कि वो encrypt कर देते हैं, लेकिन सिर्फ बोलते हैं कि मैंने encrypt कर दिया, पैसे दे दो, काम करते रहो. This is pure extortion, right? तो ये simple है. And again dangerously, ransomware is available as a service. Software as service, you all have heard. Ransomware as service, have you heard? You have heard. So if you have heard in dark web, you can go and buy a ransomware. And in case if you have a friend with whom you want to, settle some kind of score, you can launch. I'm not advising you that, but this is available, right? Ransomware is available as a service in dark web. I have listed few companies who are dealing with it. And again, you also find examples where you see ethics in dark web. Somebody, purchased that ransomware as service, and they launched attack against this hospital called Sick Kids. इसका डेटा को, जैसे मैंने यहाँ का एम्स का हो गया था, Sick Kids का डेटा को पूरा उन्होंने एनक्रिप्ट कर दिया. And this ransomware company has a policy that they should not be used against hospitals and schools. So they came to know about this, that their product has been used against a hospital, and immediately on December 31, 2022, they issued this apology. We formally apologize for the attack on Sick Kids and give back that decryptor for free. Right? The partner who attacked the hospital, violated our rules, is blocked and is no longer our affiliate program. Right? So even you see this kind of examples even in the dark web. Now phishing in the AI world. What phishing में already discuss कर चुका हूँ. AI का क्या impact आ रहा है? This is what this slide is telling actually. So deepfake phishing, voice and video frauds. Have you? So deepfake, phishing में अभी तक deepfake की बात नहीं हो रही थी, but now deepfake is also an issue here. AI-powered email and text phishing, spear phishing, and AI-based social media phishing, angular phishing. So attackers can actually use these technologies to have voice attacks which are very, very hard to distinguish from normal voice phishing. Normally क्या होता है कि कॉल सेंटर से आपके पास फोन आ रहा है और वो आपको कंपेल करेंगे ऐसे करके कि you disclose your credentials to them, right? तो उनके अंदर एक आर्ट है of convincing you that they are genuine, right? So वो आर्ट सब में नहीं हो रही है. लेकिन अब ये जो डीप फेक फिशिंग की बात हो रही है, तो यहाँ पर क्या है कि आपकी फैमिली से अगर किसी का वॉइस कॉल आ जाए आपको, तो will that not be dangerous? Right? You are not able to distinguish in case if that person is actually speaking from your family or someone else. Right? Similarly, video fraud, and this has happened actually. In this blue part I have written, in one of the first high-profile deepfake incidents, an AI-generated voice mimicking a CEO led to the fraudulent transfer of 220,000 pounds by a UK-based energy. CEO का कॉल आया अपने फाइनेंस ऑफिसर को कि इतने पैसे ट्रांसफर कर दो. He could not make it out that the call was actually from his CEO, but he recognized the voice, and just following the instructions, उसने ट्रांसफर कर दिया उसको. ठीक है, तो second, as the technology improves, losses become more staggering in 2024. A multinational finance company fell victim to a deepfake scam where attackers used a manipulated video conference call, resulting in 25 million loss. Right? So these are going to now increase. So AI phishing prevention. So AI-based email filtering and detection, this is already happening actually. Google के पास अगर आप जा रहे हैं, Google पे in case if you have account, so Google is able to eliminate phishing to a large extent. Why? Because they are internally using their AI. So that AI is capable of detecting if mail is phishing or not, and based on it, they are able to classify it as spam. AI for voice and deepfake detection. And I have listed a reality defender, right? This is a tool now which is available. So it is able to distinguish in case if voice has been cloned or not. I wanted to show you a video. Can I?
Yes.
कीबोर्ड
कीबोर्ड से
मैं deepfake को ही लेके एक वीडियो आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ so that you appreciate the kind of problem it may have as well. इसमें वॉइस नहीं क्या ऑडियो नहीं है ऑडियो नहीं है इसमें छोड़िए मैं I'll just try to explain this. You know, this is actually from an ad which was launched by Cadbury post COVID, right? And you could recall what kind of atmosphere it was those days. So what they decided was to celebrate Diwali, and they hired Shah Rukh Khan as the main actor. So यहाँ पर voice over है इसका. This Diwali we held hundreds of small businesses. You can see that each of these window is for a specific store, you know, in different areas of India. And here he is. This Diwali, you too should shop for your clothes from Fashion Nova Emporium. Fashion Nova Emporium. Have you heard the name? No, right? अब यहाँ he is just saying, you know, different stores names one by one, right? As if ये देखिए यहाँ पर फिर लोकल स्टोर का नाम आ गया. Make sure that you buy your shoes from there. कौन सा है? Empire Footwear. So basically यहाँ पर अब इसका face expressions भी आ रहे हैं, okay? And there is a voice which is you cannot distinguish if it is not Shah Rukh Khan actually, right? तो ये हो जाएगा. तो ये पूरा वीडियो इस पे है कि इन्होंने कैडबरीज का एक वीडियो शूट किया, राइट? उस पे एक जेनरिक उन्होंने अपना जो भी थे स्टोरी लाइन जो उसको बोलनी थी, एंड देन दे यूज मशीन लर्निंग, राइट? ऑप्शन दे दिया, फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर ओनिंग स्टोर इन योर एरिया, right? So you register on that campaign, you write what is the name of your store, where you are, what is your pin code, right? And you just push it to the Cadbury server. Now Cadbury server, in case if they give you the permission, and if suppose I am residing in the nearby area, they can find it out based on the pin code of the person who is trying to access the ad. Same ad is opened, but because location is mine, which is near this store, so whenever that store name was to be, you know, actually spoken by Shah Rukh Khan, the face expressions and the voice was of Shah Rukh Khan, but he spoke the line which was written there, and you cannot distinguish in case if he did not actually speak those lines. And this is what deepfake is actually, right? So you cannot distinguish in case if Shah Rukh Khan did not actually tell those words, but it was AI that made him utter those words at the time, right? So in case if these kind of things start happening in future, and there would be more of such instances, you know, it is very, very important for us to make that distinction. Can this become your research topic, right? अभी एक site में बता रहा हूँ, but you need to study this and find out, because this is a proprietary tool, but this needs to come out in the open. From beginning of speech. Start from current slide. Right, so you will be needing those kind of, you know, aids with you in order to ensure that it's not happening. Then there is a site called Respeecher. Respeecher again is a tool which is already developed. Maybe I think 2-3 years back they developed it, and there the objective of developing the tool was different. It was quite you know, sensible, that when you know, people like Shah Rukh Khans are employed and they you know, shoot for a film, right? It is very difficult for them to be roped in case if there is change in in that film script later on, right? तो उसके लिए उन्होंने कहा कि हम इसकी voice को लेंगे, उसका clone बना के जो भी हम इसको line बोल देंगे, that line will be then edited and it will be replaced with that. So that was the objective of developing Reese feature. But again, that was the planned objective for it. But this technology is now going to go to hackers as well. So they will be using these tools such as Reese feature, deep fakes like this to छोड़ दिया उसको नहीं अब वो बाद में चला लेंगे I'll leave it because time is actually running out. It's already 2, right? अब दूसरा अब चैट जीपीटी तो सुना होगा. I'm leaving some words for you. Worm GPT, fraud GPT, escape GPT, evil GPT, and these are tools which are now coming up and dying their own death, right? Worm GPT probably you won't find it available these days, but I think 1 year back it was there. So Worm GPT, fraud GPT, escape GPT. So these are the tools which can be used to create phishing campaigns, right? I talked about spear phishing, for example. So in spear phishing, you were targeting a group of users. So what you can do, you can go to these and enter a prompt such as, yeah, I want to attack, I want to launch a phishing attack on JNU, right? Can you generate some mails specifically for Department of Computer Science student? So it knows what JNU is, what computer science is doing, and it will generate mail which will be very convincing without grammatical mistakes. It will be generated for you. So you don't have to think about it, what should I write? It will give you a number of ideas. This is how you can get into. This is how you can appeal to JNU students. They will fall in a trap. So those kind of things, so beyond chat GPT, other things are also available. In the future of AI in phishing and cybersecurity, AI-powered cybersecurity will become smarter at detecting evolving phishing threats. Cyber criminals will use AI to create even more realistic phishing campaigns. SET. अब SET फिर मैं आपको वर्ड छोड़ के जा रहा हूँ यहाँ पर. This is Social Engineering Toolkit. SET. तो अगर आपको phishing attack launch करना है, if you want to experiment, for example, during your research, how many of my colleagues in JNU are vulnerable to falling trap of phishing? तो कैसे मैं पता लगाऊंगा? ठीक है, आपको पता नहीं लगेगा. जिस दिन वो ट्रैप में आ जाएगा उस दिन पता चलेगा somebody clicked this and shared their credentials and now something gets compromised. So to do this you can test your environment. The positive aspect of this tool is that it was created to test preparedness of an organization. If they are, they will be able to handle social engineering attack in case if it comes to them. But the negative side is that somebody can use the same tool to launch an attack actually, right? तो SET के अंदर क्या है कि आप जाइए और उसको बोल दीजिए, जैसे मैंने कहा कि ये GPTs मैंने भी आपको दिखाई है कई सारी, ना, तो उससे जाके आपने टेक्स्ट जनरेट कर लिया कि क्या मेल मुझे करना है ना. अब वो मेल को जनरेट करने के लिए मैं किसको टारगेट करूं, वो मेल जाएगी दूसरे तक कैसे? तो अब मैंने वहां JNU का डोमेन ऐड कर दिया, राइट? JNU का डोमेन ऐड कर दिया, मेल बहुत सारे खींच के लेके आ जाएगा वो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके जो नेट पे पड़े हुए हैं, राइट? यू डोंट हैव टू थिंक अबाउट कि मैं मेल कैसे ऐड करूं इसमें. देन इट विल प्रिपेयर अ वेबसाइट. फॉर एग्जांपल फिशिंग वेबसाइट पे क्या होता है, इट लुक्स सिमिलर टू JNU. फॉर एग्जांपल JNU की वेबसाइट है, आप खोल रहे हैं उसको, यू आर वेरी फेमिलियर विद दैट वेबसाइट. बट इन केस इफ jnu.ac.in की जगह अगर कोई लिख दे jnu.ac.ln and the site looks similar to what JNU is actually having, so you will not notice that LN and IN part. You will continue to believe it and probably enter some credentials on that website, right? तो मैंने वो तो अब मुझे वो वेबसाइट दोबारा क्लोन करने के लिए I don't need to write program, I don't need to copy CSS, right? I just need to say that JNU की साइट को क्लोन कर दो and launch this campaign in these domains. तो JNU के स्टूडेंट्स का अगर कुछ ग्रुप है या और कोई ग्रुप है तो you can list your targets and then this SET will start sending mails and you as the launcher of this campaign will have the backend trying to assess how many people actually hit those links. तो आपको पता चल जाएगा, अच्छा ये साहब ने, इनके पास मेल गया, इन्होंने खोल दिया मेल, इन्होंने नहीं खोला. So you will have complete statistics. So on the positive side, as an administrator, I will get to know who are the weak links. So probably I can call them to a workshop and tell them how a phishing attack looks like, and you don't need to do this any time in future, right? So ये tools भी available हैं आपके पास. So deepfake schemes and AI-driven voice fraud will increase. Organization will rely on more on AI-driven authentication, biometric to counter AI-based threats. Then AI in ransomware attacks, attackers versus defenders. I've just listed the factors, how AI is going to be used by attackers and how AI is to be used by defenders. I'm leaving this to you again because I think time is already there. Maybe meeting ka time ho gaya. AI and packet analysis. Packet analysis का भी किया किसी ने? Wireshark का नाम सुना है? सुना है. What is Wireshark? तो अभी पैकेट कैप्चर करते हैं. पैकेट कैप्चर किस लिए कर रहे हैं आप? ट्रैफिक एनालिसिस करने के लिए. तो ट्रैफिक एनालिसिस आप रिसर्च के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कर रहे हैं. बट व्हाट इफ आई से दैट आई एम ओपनिंग अ वेबसाइट एंड इट डजंट ओपन? देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम, राइट? हाउ डू यू फाइंड व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम इज? तो अगेन यू कैन यूज Wireshark for that matter. तो Wireshark के लिए अभी क्या करना पड़ता है हमें कि Wireshark का, in case if some of you have used it, you know that in case if I take a minute or two of Wireshark capture from a given node, right, it will be thousands of lines. हजारों लाइन का मेरे पास कोड बन जाएगा. Now how do I find where the problem is? I really need to be expert. You know, उन हजारों लाइंस के अंदर मुझे कौन सा स्ट्रीम फॉलो करना है and where that error is, it was really difficult. So you need some expertise on the structure of packet, TCP कैसे काम कर रहा है, कौन सा पैकेट कब आना चाहिए, सीक्वेंसिंग कैसे हो रही है, उसकी स्ट्रीम कैसे चल रही है, कनेक्शन लेस है, कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड, all that stuff is involved in understanding that stuff. Now एक Chris Gear करके, in case if you any of you who is interested in Wireshark and understanding what packet analysis is, तो Chris Gear करके एक साहब है, and he has excellent videos and in fact a series of videos on capturing traffic, analyzing it and understanding it. तो आप इसके videos देखिएगा, बहुत छोटे वीडियो बनाता है but very interesting and very knowledgeable videos. तो इसने अभी एक साइट ओपन किया bedssl.com and it was just to test deep seek. अभी AI नया लॉन्च हुआ है चाइना का. तो डीप सीक को टेस्ट करने के लिए इसने क्या किया कि वो कितना इंटेलिजेंट है. एक साइट है bedssl.com. तो अगर आप SSL से रिलेटेड कुछ R&D कर रहे हैं तो इस साइट पे चले जाइए. वो अपने आप बहुत सारे तरीके के सर्टिफिकेट, TLS वगैरह, वर्जन 1.0 2.0 सारे वो बता देता है. तो इसने जाके इसका ब्राउजर, यू आर यूजिंग मॉडर्न ब्राउजर, राइट? तो इट इज वर्किंग ऑन द रीसेंट वर्जन ऑफ TLS प्रोटोकॉल, राइट? तो व्हाट इट डिड, इट ओपनड अप bedssl.com और वहां जाके TLS का वर्जन चेंज करके 1.0 कर दिया. तो my Chrome browser is talking on 2.x. वहां रिक्वेस्ट जा रहा है और सर्वर मुझे क्या वापस भेज रहा है 1.0. तो पता चला वहां उसने पेज ब्लॉक कर दिया. दैट कैप्चर वाज टेकन एंड गिवन टू DeepSeek, and DeepSeek was able to analyze. This was the capture. The site cannot provide a secure link, and this was the snap which I have taken from that screen. So it said that because you are using old version of TLS, this has been blocked. Now this is immensely helpful for people who are into networking. अगर मैं अपने किसी नेटवर्क इंजीनियर को बोलता कि इसको मुझे करके बताओ कि कैसे क्यों ब्लॉक हो जा रहा है, तो probably he would take a day or two time to conclude that this is the problem actually. Now you just capture half a minute or a minute traffic, give it to DeepSeek, and it was able to kind of pinpoint the problem. And this is what we are looking at AI from positive perspective. Again, clients were trying to connect to internet, but sometimes they were not able to connect at all, right? So again, so यहाँ पर क्या आया, उसने फिर कैप्चर किया, फिर दे दिया DeepSeek को. The response was there are too many resets. Reset आप TCP अगर पढ़ा होगा तो जानते हैं, reset जहाँ आया वहाँ connection close हो गया. So when this reset was tracked, in fact, it was found that there was a firewall and this firewall was having sessions limit on node, per IP address, how many sessions can be opened. So it was able to point out that because these resets are happening and these resets are being done by this IP address, you are getting this error on screen. So, as a technical person, it is immensely useful for me to have these kind of tools. Instead of deploying one network engineer, I can, take help of AI. So they are not exact, they are also evolving. At many a times they would produce wrong results as well, even right now, right? But you need to believe and trust, because over a period of time, they would improve. Let me skip this. Again, why AI? I have just given this slide for you of a company called Fortinet. नाम सुना होगा सब लोगों ने. बहुत सारी companies जैसे Cisco का है, ऐसे ही Juniper है. Then you have companies working in area of antiviruses, anti-malware, and number of things, right? So you can see that they have stacks of products. एक product नहीं है, सैकड़ों products हैं उनके. अगर मुझे enterprise level पे security चाहिए, तो for example you have firewall, you have multiple firewalls, you have analyzers which analyze the logs, then you have managers, you have a number of other things. So if my enterprise network comprises of very complicated layer of devices which are scattered, for example मेरी organization में कुछ हो गया, मेरी firewall पे पहले आया traffic और firewall के rule ने detect किया कि warning type का कुछ, it was not very serious but a warning. एंटीवायरस ने भी, वो एंटीवायरस के पास पहुंचा, वहां पे भी वार्निंग आ गया, किसी और डिवाइस से गया, वहां पे भी वार्निंग आया. तो ऑल वर लो लेवल सिग्नल्स, बट इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर मी एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम टू एसिमुलेट ऑल दोस थ्रेट्स कि ये एक के बाद एक दूसरा होता जा रहा है. ये मशीन में पहुंचा और यहां से इसने ये ट्रैफिक भेजना शुरू कर दिया, राइट? तो इन केस इफ आई एम एबल टू, बिकॉज व्हाई इज इट सो? बिकॉज देयर आर न्यूमरस डिवाइसेस. It is not possible for us to manage all these devices. Every device is generating logs. तो मैं जामिया से आ रहा हूँ यहाँ पर, हमारे यहाँ बहुत बड़ी लिंक नहीं है, बट 1.4 गीगाबिट पर सेकंड का पाइप है. अब उसमें लॉग्स कितने जनरेट होते हैं? आप एक दिन के अगर मैं लॉग्स देखूं, मैं लेवल मतलब बहुत ऊपर नहीं जा रहा, 7 लेवल्स के लॉग्स होते हैं. अगर मैं 3 लेवल के भी लॉग कैप्चर करता हूं तो 100 GB के आसपास लॉग्स मेरे पर डे बन रहे हैं, सिर्फ फायरवॉल के. एंटीवायरस के लॉग्स अलग बन रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो अब अगर इन 100 GB के लॉग्स में कुछ ऐसे सिग्नल्स आ रहे हैं which are giving me indications that yes, something wrong is going to happen, some ransomware is not there in your network, but despite my logs getting captured, I am in no position to find or rather to take action, because I just don't have that bandwidth, human bandwidth available with me. मैं कर ही नहीं सकता हूँ इसको, impossible है, right? मेरे पास इतने resources नहीं है. Either I have that luxury of resources, who are experts and are able to do their work meticulously. But in case if that is not the thing, then probably again AI is something which I hope that would take over, would make sense. What these logs are telling. Different device logs are assimilated together. They are put together to give you the complete picture, rather instead of seeing it in segments. So AI has that capability, probably if not now, but in future it will evolve to an extent where you will have that complete picture. So AI has to be seen as a co-worker. How many of you see AI as a co-worker? Do you see it as a co-worker or as a competitor? Co-worker, good. So AI has to be seen as a co-worker, and by institutions as well. अभी मुझे नहीं मालूम कि आप AI पे अपना थीसिस अगर अपलोड कर दे रहे हैं फॉर लैंग्वेज इंप्रूवमेंट, बहुत सारा अंग्रेजी अच्छी नहीं होती है, मैंने थीसिस लिखा, पेपर लिखा, मैंने को पायलट को दे दिया या आई गिव इट टू चैट जीपीटी और डीप सीक एंड दैट इट डज लैंग्वेज करेक्शन. हाउ विल दैट फिगर आउट इन द एंटी प्लेजियरिज्म रिपोर्ट? प्लेजियरिज्म रिपोर्ट में आएगा वो? आएगा. तो अब टर्निटिन में एक कंपोनेंट आ गया है, व्हाट इज दैट? AI डिटेक्टर. तो AI डिटेक्शन में आ जाएगा फिर वो. तो शुड यू बी अलाउड टू डू दैट और नॉट? ये जो लैंग्वेज इंप्रूवमेंट, अभी मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया कि लैंग्वेज इंप्रूवमेंट के लिए आपने किया, लेकिन वो AI डिटेक्शन में चला गया. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट? शुड दैट बी अलाउड और नॉट? नहीं, अंग्रेजी भी आपको परफेक्ट आनी चाहिए. भाई फ्रॉम माय पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट, यू आर अलाउड टू यूज कैलकुलेटर in your research, you are using computer, right, and I am wearing these specs, Why? Because I have some problem and this is able to correct my vision, right? So if I am having some problem in my English, then why can't I use ChatGPT to get it corrected? I should be legitimately allowed, no? In case if you are allowing me to wear specs, you are allowing me to write with a pen or compose text on Office. So similarly, AI has to be adopted wherever possible, right? So it has to be seen as a co-worker. You do not trust your co-workers 100%, do you? Ultimately, judgment is yours. So similarly, because AI is kind of maybe, I would say, a junior worker who has just joined your office, it will make mistakes, but it will improve for sure. This is what I've been seeing it for last 3 years. 23 से लेके अब तक improvement हो रहा है उसके अंदर, right? So, but discarding it as if it is something which always create incorrect result is not correct. I'm using it quite heavily in my day-to-day work in my office, right? But eliminate jobs, बाकी तो छोड़िए. So AI can potentially increase efficacy of the systems, improve the experience and economics. I gave you example, right? It is not possible for me to get any sense of logs which are scattered across devices unless and until I have something like AI available with me. But how to use AI? Coding skills are important. People are discarding coding, that coding भी सारा AI कर देगा. बहुत सारे लोग करवा भी रहे होंगे उससे. लेकिन I feel that unless and until you code yourself, you will not be able to enjoy the benefits which are coming with these tools such as ChatGPT. How many of you are using API provided by ChatGPT? API use करते हैं आप? कर रहे हैं. Okay, very good. तो API अगर use करते हैं तो probably you can use result generated by one prompt, have some kind of if condition, and take your different paths. Otherwise, you will have to write down your prompts again and again, right? So, that thing that generative AI is available, and you have that programming control with you, is only possible when you start using the Olama. Use किया आपने? Olama, Llama, LLAMA. You have used. So these are the tools which you should download, right? और इनके सबके ChatGPT का भी download the database, right? अभी जो इसका ये deep C का है, इसका भी database available, but probably you need a very heavy machine to to run it locally. But in case if you have some kind of good computational setup, you can download it locally and can make your own AI application out of it. So investigate a problem, identify the problem, report the problem, and research the problem. So for all these things, you can do using AI. So I'll just conclude that future of cybersecurity will be powered by AI. It will not be controlled by AI, but it will be powered by AI. So you have to start using AI in cybersecurity to whatever extent you can to improve it further, right? So because it was a very, very quick kind of 2020 over match. अच्छा मेरा सवाल तो हो गया फिर भी. गली क्रिकेट. So I'll just conclude and rush sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for delivering such an inspiring and thought-provoking session. Your wealth of knowledge and engaging insights have significantly enriched our learning journey.
I would like to request Professor D.K. Lobiyal to please felicitate Professor Shanik Azim Naqvi as a token of gratitude for being here. Sir, please do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together too.
एक मिनट सर, बस 1 मिनट. फोटो आया नहीं.
Light is alright. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Now it's time for lunch. Please proceed and enjoy your meal. We will continue for the next session shortly after the lunch.